What is anxiety? Anxiety is when you are living both in the future and in the past at the same time. You have one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. And so part of you is projecting into the future, trying to predict some unforeseen outcome, something perhaps you're trying to avoid. And part of you is in the past, reliving an experience that was uncomfortable, unpleasant, where you didn't feel fully safe. When you get triggered in specific situations that feel familiar, your past gets triggered because that's where the energy of what happened comes from, and then the future gets triggered because that is the anticipation of what might happen, because it's a familiar feeling. And so in those moments, what's actually going on is a younger version of you, a version of you from the past, is now projecting itself into the future and really not living in the present at all. So the reality of what is actually happening right now is not present. And so it's really, really hard to see things accurately when you're not in the present moment. So here's what you do. First of all, you acknowledge, I'm in a thing. Something feels uncomfortable, something's scaring me. There's a perceived negative outcome potentially. And so what's happening is now your younger self is in front of you driving the bus. Ages 0 to 7 to 12, some experiences that you've had from when you were a teenager or a really young adult, maybe something traumatic or scary happened. And so what happens is now part of you, that aspect of you, is now driving your reality. And so what you do is you first acknowledge what's happening and you start to become aware, become an outside observer. So become an observer of your own experience. So now instead of being merged with that experience of the past, you're observing it, you are feeling it in your body. So noticing how it feels in your body. And then also what you do is you bring your adult self together in alignment with your child self. So you're not just living in the child self and you're not just rejecting the child and trying to force your way into your adult self. What you're doing is you're bringing your adult self and placing your adult self in front of the child, so in the driver's seat. So the child is now in the back seat, having their own experience, but the adult version of you is now in the front seat, driving the bus. For example, when I was doing body work, and anytime that an older woman would step into my office, I would feel the need to please her. This comes from my childhood, for my need to please my mother. It's really, really almost impossible to do. And so naturally, this little boy felt very anxious because he felt like this is a mission impossible. This woman steps in, how am I going to give her what she wants? And of course, I was living in the past and projecting this scenario into the future. So when I learned this, then my adult self stepped in and then reassessed the situation to the fact that I'm actually an adult. I'm offering a particular service. This is not my mother. This is a person that I am offering a skill to the best of my ability. Whether she is going to be satisfied with that or not, I really don't have much control over besides providing my skill and my integrity and so on and so forth. And then the child could sit in the backseat and actually not feel the responsibility of trying to please every older woman that walked through my office, fearing that she's going to reject me, she's going to get angry with me, she's going to punish me, all the things that this 4-year-old was scared in regards to his mom. And so in that moment, I took off the projection from this client, and of course, my work with these older women became a lot more effective because now the pressure was off. I could bring my adult professional self and do the work that I was hired to do.